So now let's take a look at the next part of the question. It says, for this value of A, find an expression for F inverse X stating its domain. Now when it says for this value of A, remember the value of A that we found was A should be less than equal to ln 3. Yeah. And Fx as given in the question is e to the power 2x minus e to the power x plus minus 6 e to the power x plus 5. Now I'm sure you all know that when we found one inverse function, we have to interchange our x and y, right? Instead of x being the input, y becomes the input and x becomes the output. So let's see how we can do that. First of all, let's write fx as y is equal to e to the power 2x minus 6 e to the power x plus 5. Now we want to be able to make x as a subject of this equation. So how can we do that? If you observe a little bit, you will see that we can write this as a whole squared. How? E to the power 2x minus 2 times 3 e to the power x plus, so our a is e to the power x and b is 3. So 3 square, b square will be 9. And since we have a plus 5, we can do a minus 4. So all we have done is, instead of writing 5, we have written it as 9 minus 4. And I have written 6 e to the power x to show you that it is 2 times 3 e to the power x, which means our first 3 terms become a whole square. Y is equal to e to the power x minus 3 whole squared minus 4. Now rearrange this to make x as a subject. Y plus 4 is equal to e to the power x minus 3 squared. Let's take square root on both sides. So we have e to the power x minus 3 is equal to plus minus square root of y plus 4. Now here we are at a very critical point, which is this plus and minus. We need to decide whether we'll take plus or whether we'll take minus. Let's take both first and see which one fits into our question and which one doesn't. So we have, I'm going to do both and eventually we'll see, we'll discard one. E to the power x is equal to 3 plus square root of y plus 4, and e to the power x is equal to 3 minus square root of y plus 4. Now remember, the domain of our function fx was a less than equal to ln 3. Okay, so if we take plus, what will happen? Let's take ln on both sides first. So x is equal to ln 3 plus square root of y plus 4, and x is equal to ln 3 minus square root of y plus 4. Now, domain of a function is the range of its inverse. So if the domain of the function fx is a less than ln 3, then the range of the inverse function, this is the inverse function, its range should also be less than ln 3. So f inverse x is ln 3 plus square root of x plus 4, and f inverse x is ln 3 minus square root of x plus 4. Now, if I take this here, if I take plus, then I am saying that my range is ln 3 plus something, which is bigger than ln 3, right? But that should not be, because the range of the inverse function is less than equal to ln 3. So which means I cannot take this, because anything added to 3 will make the range more than ln 3. However, anything subtracted with 3 will keep the range less than equal to 3. So this has to be discarded. Okay, this is not applicable. And this is our inverse function. F inverse x is equal to ln 3 minus square root of x plus 4. And the range, as we know, is a less than equal to ln 3. But we are now also asked state the domain of this function. So what will be the domain of this? We have to take value of x in such a way that 3 minus square root x plus 4 should not become negative because ln doesn't exist for negative numbers. It should not become negative. It should also not become 3, because if root x plus 4 becomes 3, then this will become ln 3 minus 3, 0, right? That means root x plus 4, first of all, this should be greater than 0. It should not be negative, and it should be less than 3. Only when root x plus 4 is less than 3, then the ln will exist. Okay, so then let's find out what will be the domain of this. Take square on both sides, square the whole thing, and we get x plus 4 is less than 9, which means x should be greater than equal to negative 4, but less than 9 minus 4, which is 5. And this is the domain of the inverse function. So this is the domain of the inverse function, and the range of the inverse function, as we say, is less than equal to ln 3.